Imagine this, and let me take you on a journey. You're on your way to work, or maybe you're headed home. You're listening to that playlist that gets you feeling just how you want to. It's like medicine. Maybe it's even one particular song you can't get enough of, but as you listen, you sort of lose yourself in it. You're singing along, drumming on the steering wheel. Maybe you're just imagining yourself in a better place, but as you do, you start to think of the people that you love the most. And there's this elation in your chest. Your heart starts beating faster. Your eyes water up, and there's this tightness in the back of your throat. But it all feels right, though. It kind of feels like home. Your thinking is clear. There's love in your heart, and there's a fire in your soul. You're ready to take on the world, and everything seems to make sense, but only for a moment. And then the moment's gone. This is the vagus nerve inside of you. In the fall of 2012, I was facing 3 felonies and potential prison time. I was lost and needed to rethink my direction. Looking back, I see there was a big shift happening in me before I could even realize it. Nonetheless, I needed to make some serious changes, so I began to open up and lean in. During this period, I was actually on probation when I was invited to go on tour for the first time. And when I came home from tour, I was so fired up and ready to make something that I rented a space at Francisco's where I spent quite a few late nights and early mornings. I practically lived there practicing drums for a while. And by the end of 2013, I uploaded my first drum video to YouTube. I was originally planning to do a drum remix of Try It Out by Skrillex, which still would be dope to do someday, but then Eminem dropped Rap God, and I knew I just had to do it. At the start of 2014, I did 2 more drum covers. For the Yellow Wolf video, we threw a party at Mom's and recorded it. I remember my dude Tyler Miller calling me one day, telling me about this dream he had of me ripping the drums to Radioactive. So we found a spot in the desert and we made it happen. I continued to make drum videos through the rest of 2014. I moved to Nashville that summer and only stayed till the end of the year. And by the start of 2015, I was living in Greenville, South Carolina with Tyler. I started taking drum lessons out there, hoping to improve my chart reading skills, because for a handful of years, it was my goal to play drums on a cruise ship. And well, one day my recruiter told me that I'd have to take out my piercings and cover up my tattoos if I had a shot of being hired on a cruise line. So it was pretty lame and disappointing, but from then on out, all I could think about was how badly all I ever wanted to do was be in a badass band. So a handful of weeks go by, and then a dude named Jordan Washam sends me a Facebook message, and he says he's been keeping tabs and he's managing a project that I might be interested in trying out for. So I made an audition video, and I was voted in. So I joined 2 dudes who were forming the band American Wolves. Over the span of 4 months, from August to November of 2015, we found our other guitarist, Nikki. We all met in person for the first time. We jammed the songs. We filmed our first music video. We showcased for labels. And by the time 2016 rolled around, I was ready to put a ring on it. I was committed to the band. We all agreed to temporarily move into Nikki's parents' house in Honeybrook, Pennsylvania. Rob and Rod and I shared the basement where we all rehearsed, and we premiered Part of Me via Billboard in March. And everything felt like it was going to happen for us. We were all the way out in Amish country, but the space around us felt tight. We lived there for a couple of months, and then we got an opportunity to go on tour with Escape the Fate. We had about a month to get our shit together. I grew up with Escape the Fate posters on my wall, and it was actually happening now. The first show was sold out in my hometown in Phoenix. Everything just seemed to be lining up picture perfect. Well, fast forward, we do the tour. It was freaking rad. All the dudes in Escape were so kind, and to this date was easily one of the best times of my life. Over the next several months, the band grew apart. We were physically divided. We were losing momentum. Lots of problems started to rise, and ultimately, I was given a decision to make. It was September 2016. We'd been back home from tour for about 5 months, and we still didn't have any shows, any tours, or release dates lined up. I was asked to fill in on drums for my friends in Farewell My Love for an upcoming tour in October. I was told that if I took the opportunity that I would be out of the band. So I decided to go on tour with Farewell, and the band told me to pack my bags. That brought me back to Phoenix in September of 2016. I had no car, I had no drums, no band. I did, however, upgrade my phone to an iPhone 6S, which came with GarageBand. And I had never had software like GarageBand before, so I played with it all the time. I was just living at my grandma's, and I was working at B-Dubs. I would ride my bike home from work and just be chilling making beats with my headphones. Well, eventually I upgraded gear, and I moved back to Nashville in the summer of 2017. And my dudes back in Arizona were just starting to get involved with this collective called Vocal Kitchen. And I wanted to be a part of the team too, but I was struggling with a bit of an identity crisis at the time though. I was trying to figure out what it looks like for me to step into my artistry beyond just the drums. I went through a bad breakup while on the final run of Warped Tour in 2018, and when I came home, I just poured myself into writing and learning to produce. By February 2019, I'd officially signed onto the Vocal Kitchen roster, and just in time for me to move back to Phoenix in April. I was hyped. Not only was I able to write and record with my friends this time around, but one of my very best friends had just come home from serving 5.5 years in prison. He's an absolute huge reason why I am who I am and why I do music. It really felt like he was dead for the years that I wasn't able to talk with him, so I was stoked to be able to finally do music with him again. And we did. In 2019, Adam also signed with Vocal Kitchen, and we each sold our first songs that year. Over the next year, we just kept writing, and I placed around 20 songs with some pretty cool DJs, and many of which are actually still yet to be released. At the start of 2021, I made the decision to leave Vocal Kitchen in order to focus on releasing my own music under the Vegas. In the spring, I began working with my good friend Nino to finish some demos that I had. At the same time, I was working with the homies Adam and Chris on a couple of tracks. And Paradise is the first song that I released under the Vegas. It was the first song that Adam and I finished together, and we put it out that July. And later that month, I reached out to one of my heroes. I attached a few of my demos, and he replied saying, "Yo, I can rip this for sure." So, yeah, I got to do Come On To Me with Aaron Gillespie, and doing that song with him really kicked things into gear even more. Adam, Chris, and I released our song Vacancy in August. Adam and I then made a drum remix video, which we put out in October, and by the end of October, Adam had died, and I was crushed. I was already planning on retiring for the holidays, but after losing such an incredible soul, I think we all needed it. By the time everyone was ready to say goodbye to 2021 and ring in the new year, I was too. I had a few months to process, and now it was time to fuck shit up. So I decided to reach out to another heavy-hitting producer whom I have the utmost respect for, and by February 2022, we locked in a 4-song EP with Kevin Thrasher. And this is a case of literal dreams coming true. It's currently April 2022 at the time of filming, and we have the first song of the EP done. We're starting the second. I'm also working with my buddy Matt Melee on an additional set of 3 songs. I'm sitting on about 4 albums worth of material, and as of right now, I'm looking at releasing anywhere from 6 to 9 songs this year. To top it all off, some of my best friends and I are planning a big concert for the fall. It's going to be the debut show for each of our respective projects, and I'll be turning 30, debuting my artist project live with all of my friends and family, and I'll be doing it in such a fashion that I believe Adam would be overjoyed at. So no doubt it's going to be one of the most crazy and special nights of my life. The question is, will you be there?